Hello everyone and Merry Christmas to all celebrating today. I normally share stories from a variety of traditions through this project, and today I wanted to share one of my own, from my own tradition. So these are some figures from a traditional nativity scene. Specifically today, I wanted to focus on the three Magi, wise men or kings, depending on how you like to translate them. These are characters who appear in Matthew's Gospel, the second chapter, which is the Christmas nativity story. And the wise men, who've later been called kings, they come from abroad, from the east. As we can see here, we've come to worship him. These kings are traditionally, actually, as referred to Magi, actually Zoroastrian priests. So Zoroastrianism is a traditional religion in classical Persia, currently known as Iran, the dominant religion there before the arrival of Islam. But the Magi I find fascinating in that Matthew, which is arguably the gospel most written for a Jewish audience, as we could see through things like the focus on Christ's family line, connecting him to King David, for example, that it brings in these distinctly non-Jewish figures of the Magi. There have definitely been some historical connection between Judaism and Zoroastrianism because of the Babylonian exile, among other general contact. However, the Magi being these non-Jewish figures, I find really beautiful in that they follow a star across the sky to guide them where they need to be. We see here on the verse that this second wise man has on him, that when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. I find the idea of the star very beautiful. That is a classical symbol in the way stars have been used for navigation. And this is a star that drives these priests to the west to follow it for the birth of a great king. Now, typically, it wouldn't be uncommon in ancient times through to medieval times, even through to today in more traditional societies, to be paying tribute to the birth of a new royal or a new king or a new person in a great line. And it is especially interesting to me that each of the three wise men, though the biblical narrative doesn't say that there are three, they traditionally are depicted as three because of the three gifts they bring. And it is those gifts that I want to focus on. The three gifts they give: gold, frankincense, and myrrh, as we can see on this figure. So gold makes sense, especially if these wise men are referred to later on as kings, the three kings, as the famous Christmas song goes. It makes sense that they would give gifts of gold. Gold is something of a symbol of wealth and royalty, whereas frankincense shows another aspect that these men had seen. Frankincense, incense being used in religious ceremonies. So there's a gift for a king and a gift for a god. And then myrrh is an herb, traditionally another type of incense used in funerals. So gold makes sense for a king. Frankincense makes sense for the religious aspect of this. But myrrh is the puzzling one, which of course the puzzle becomes solved when the crucifixion is put into place. And in Christian belief, that myrrh, the funeral herb, is signifying the death that would show Christ's divinity and his kingship in the eyes of Christian believers. So I find this a very beautiful image of these wise men, these priests coming from the east, recognizing something in this star, showing that it's something worth following that they've found, but that they each do see something different in it. And each of those helps contribute to a fuller picture. I think that's very applicable whether you are a Christian celebrating today or not, or whether you're celebrating on the Epiphany, the 12 days after Christ's birth that they actually arrived, hence the 12 days of Christmas. They're actually December 25th and after. But for today, I would just like to send best wishes from me and mine to you and yours, whether you are celebrating today, 12 days from now, or not at all. I'm wishing you all the best today, and thank you very much. Merry Christmas.